When I started out in the ministry, I needed to survive. And how do I survive? Here was I, a doctor, and I had to either work at Kolebu Hospital or be in the ministry, which I felt I should be in the ministry. How to survive. My father-in-law was very worried for me because I had married his daughter, and he felt that I was leading her astray into difficulty. Every parent is concerned about his child, and he was concerned about his daughter, who he had given to me to marry. And now I say I'll not work as a doctor again. I mean, he knew that when I was married that I was a doctor. So he went he said he was going to Kolebu to see the people because they had, I don't know, he said they had posted me to the pathology department or the mortuary, I don't know, and I didn't want to go there. So he's going to see them to talk to them so that they should transfer me from that place, because that is why I'm not coming to work. I had to fight with that issue. My mother-in-law was also concerned about her daughter, her only daughter that I've married. And she was always talking to me. And I one day told her, she's a teacher, so we call her please teacher. I said, please teacher, please. Please. From today, don't talk about this again. You know, and when I said that, I was afraid because I didn't know how I would even survive. Hey. But I was fighting to be in the ministry. To be in the ministry. Woe is me if I preach not the gospel. I needed to serve the Lord. Amen. And then fighting for a place to have somewhere to have as our church building. We had to fight to get a church, a place to be, because we were meeting in a canteen. And there was pressure. You know, the canteen, it was a special hall with glass windows on the left and glass windows on the right. So when you're on the street, you can see straight. And here we were, young students in the middle of the hospital, and there's a big sign, no hooting, no noise. And our church is right there, and we are making noise. No hooting. I don't know why they say no hooting, but no hooting. No noise, the hospital. And here we are. So I was fighting for my life. I came up with an idea. Let's sew curtains. Special curtains. And we made curtains to cover the whole side on this side and the whole of this side. So we were inside with the curtains. Now the second thing was that the hall was too big for a small church. So I came up with another idea. Let's sew curtains from 70% of the hall. Let's cut off the back of the hall with curtains. So we sewed another set of curtains. So we had curtains like a mountain. Every Sunday after church, where to keep the curtains, how to remove the curtain, make the place normal to be a canteen on Monday. Oh, I was fighting. Nothing is given to you, just have it. Oh, yes. How to have members in the church. Oh, yes. I had to preach, do outreach, and we outreach to the point where the doctors and the medical students were angry with us. Hey, because it was our outreach field. We stand outside at dawn and preach. Ground floor, first floor, second floor, third, fourth floor. We preach. And they would be so angry. There was a guy who had a sound system that you can rent for outdoors. And the guy will put on the, when he hears that I've come to preach, then he'll put on the sound system at dawn. so that nobody can hear what I'm saying. Oh, yes. There were Jebusites in my land. Parasites. When the people, we couldn't preach there anymore, one day they wrote an announcement that they were going to meet us with force. And that for us to come at dawn to preach, it smacks of the logic of the jungle. Those were the English words. It smacks of the logic of the jungle. It was a notice. I always remember that phrase. And that it would be met with an equal and opposite force. So now we knew that things were, heating up. So we started outreaching in Kolegono. We moved from Kolebu to Kolegono to reach to such souls that were out there. Oh, yes. And then, some of the people that were won over there, they became pastors in the church. Pastor Zoro and others. They were all people that we won from that area. But we've been fighting to survive for years. Then over there, we saw this building, Ofe Cinema. And I said, let me go and look for the owner because they are not showing films anymore. And I went, the owner was at Opera Cinema. Opera. It was a Lebanese company. They own so many cinema halls in Accra. Every cinema that begins with O, it belongs to them. Orion, Odeon, Ofe, Opera. In Kumasi too, there was one, O something. All of them. It's for them. When I went, I said, want to buy? They said, you can buy. How much? $100,000. I said, wow! $100,000. We just started our church. We don't even take offerings on Tuesday. We don't even take offerings in the church. Most of the time, we don't take offerings. We don't see the need of money. And you see, we used to proudly say this, we are, our background, we are doctors and so on, so we don't need offerings and money. And wow. Okay. Oh, yes. So the man told us at that time the exchange rate was $1 is 37,000. So that means that the $1 is 37,000. So that means that the 100,000 was 37 million or so, something like that. Yeah. You do the calculation. See me after church with your calculation. No reduction. The man said, money on the left, building on the right. Wow. But he said we can pay in installments. So I called my accountant who was a student. Bishop Steve. He was the accountant. I was in my adventure. I started an adventure by just listening to God. God says, I'll use you. Lord, I know you need some. Yes. Okay, let's go. I take you from looking after sheep. Whatever monotonous thing you are doing, let's go on an adventure. Something exciting, something interesting, something to fight, something to win, something to overcome, something to do. And then the man agreed. I didn't know how we would have the money. So we signed an agreement to pay. And now we were hot. Hey, where are we going to get this money? My accountant, Steve, he was a student. The total money we have is $700. And we need 100,000. I'm just changing to the exchange rate to dollars so that you understand. We didn't have any idea. So I discussed with Bishop Saki and Bishop Eddie. They were not bishops, but we were all. I said, do we know any rich people? So we know some rich millionaires in Ghana. Let's write to rich people. That's why I don't believe in writing to rich people because I've written before. I've written before. I've done it before. Yes. We wrote to the millionaires, Christian millionaires. Nobody gave us nothing. I didn't even a reply. We didn't get. So after we composed a letter. So when I see people going around with appeal for funds, I say, oh, this thing it won't work. I say, man, I said, this thing is too work. I've done some before. Then we decided to do a fun fair to raise funds at Circle. We got a horse. If you go on the horse, you pay this lucky dip. I mean, raffle. We did a raffle too. Hey. And we got nothing. Everything, we got nothing. Oh, yes. You know, we had begun our adventure. How to survive and how to survive. But through it all, the Lord blessed us. We were able to pay even before the time. Oh, yes. And we were able to continue doing the building. I don't know how. Offerings, tithes. I learned that tithe and offering, that's all. Yeah. Over the years.